From crazy power shots blasting through the air to knuckleball strikes that left goalkeepers helpless, and 30-yard screamers that will make you jump out your seat, these are the 15 best free kicks in the history of the Euros. We start off with Angelo Domenghini's decisive strike for Italy in the final of the 1968 Euros tournament. The hosts progressed to the final after winning a semi-final tie against the Soviet Union with a coin toss. Lady Luck was definitely on their side. However, it looked like she abandoned them in the final when Dragan Džajić put Yugoslavia ahead just before half-time. As the second half got underway, the Italians went all out in a bid to restore parity, and they eventually got it in the 80th minute when Angelo Domenghini scored this stunning free kick. Now, that's what you call a clutch strike. 6 years after he gave Italy a scare with a first half goal in the 68 final, Dragan Džajić was back tearing things up at the Euros. This time, it was the third place playoff in the 1976 edition between the Netherlands and Džajić's Yugoslavia. The Orange raced into a 2-goal lead to seize control of the game. But the Yugoslavia players weren't going down without a fight. Just before half-time, Josip Katalinski cut the deficit in half, setting the stage for an epic comeback that was completed by a cracking free kick from Dragan Džajić. Unfortunately, the Netherlands would score a late extra time goal to win the game, but that goal by Džajić was something special. And to this day, it remains one of the best free kicks ever scored in the Euros. Today, everyone knows Antonín Panenka for his cheeky penalty kick from the 1976 Euros. But make no mistake, the Czech legend was very lethal in other dead ball situations as well. A prime example was in the 1980 group stage match between Greece and Czechoslovakia. With just 6 minutes on the clock, Antonín Panenka steps up and curls in a free kick so perfect, even David Beckham would have been jealous. Up next is Michel Platini, the French superstar player who served as UEFA's president between 2007 and 2016. But long before his stint in the boardroom, Platini was a star on the pitch, scoring several goals, including this screamer against Portugal in the group stage of the 1984 European Championship. This breathtaking strike sent the French supporters into a frenzy and ultimately contributed to France's 3-2 win on the day. Up next is Jean-François Domergue's dipping free kick against Yugoslavia in the semi-final of the 1984 European Championship. Now on replay, it looks like the goalkeeper was slow to react. However, in real time, you'd realise there's very little he could have done to stop that ball. And honestly, we can say the same about this next entry by Rafael Gordillo in 1988. Considering the distance and angle of the set piece, the Spaniard wasn't even expected to hit the target. But not only did he hit the target, he did it with aplomb, bending the ball over the wall and underneath the crossbar like he's prime David Beckham. Many years after Gordillo scored that impossible goal, Gareth Bale pulled off something similar for Wales. The deadly winger and his teammates were forced to chase the ball as England exerted utter dominance in the game. However, in the 42nd minute, Bale produced an otherworldly moment that changed the outlook of the game. Now, a beautiful goal like this one was always going to send the fans into a frenzy, but the fact it was against England made it even better. But not so much for the Three Lions. The semi-final match between Sweden and Germany saw some clinical goals, but none can be compared to the wonder strike by Thomas Hassler. With the game tied 0-0, the German midfielder seized the initiative to break the deadlock with a sensational strike from 35 yards out. Poor goalkeeper, he was left rooted to the spot as he watched the ball whistle past him into the net. At number 8, we have Hristo Stoichkov's left-footed strike against France in 1996. The Bulgarian legend and 1994 Ballon d'Or winner watched as he fell 2-0 to France within 63 minutes. But just 6 minutes later, he struck a beautiful free kick that left the entire French team stunned, all the way from the wall to the goalkeeper. The European Championship group stage game between France and Netherlands was a goals galore affair, with both sides registering their names on the scoresheet within the first 14 minutes. Not long after, Mikud gave the defending champions the lead with an instinctive shot. But some sheer brilliance by Frank de Boer levelled the score in 9 minutes before the halfway mark. The Dutch defender doesn't really opt for anything fancy. Instead, he put his laces behind the ball, and he generated so much power that Westerveld couldn't keep it out. I mean, dude almost lost his fingers while trying to keep that one out. Speaking about breaking things, Zinedine Zidane smashed the hearts of millions of English fans at the 2004 European Championship with 2 injury-time goals. And the first was a thing of beauty. The French maestro bent the ball graciously over the wall and into the right side of David James's goalpost. It was a free kick you'd expect from the master himself, David Beckham, but apparently the former Manchester United star left his scoring boots at home on the day. Coming in at number 5, we have the legendary German midfielder Michel Ballack, who shone like a million stars against Austria at the 2008 European Championships. Despite having more shots on target, the Germans were unable to break down the resolute defence of the Austrians throughout the first half and early on in the second half. However, as the game approached the 50th, Ballack stepped up and struck a wicked free kick. Probably the most ferocious kick you'd ever see. It was a sublime strike, one that relied more on pace and power than technique, and it was absolutely worth it because that turned out to be the only goal of the game. Unlike Ballack's wonder strike against Austria, Pirlo's exquisite finish against Croatia at the 2012 European Championship didn't have a lot of power, but had all the other elements of a good free kick. And if you are wondering what those are, I'm talking about precision, placement, and of course, the right curve on the ball. All of these combined ensured that the free kick was unstoppable, as Italy took a well-deserved lead. England and Russia played at an exciting 1-1 draw at the 2016 Euros tournament. It was a close encounter where both teams gave absolute best, and this ultimately made it difficult to call a winner. But as soon as the ball left Eric Dyer's feet and landed in the net in the 73rd minute, it was pretty clear that we had just seen one of the best free kick goals in the history of the European Championships. And you can understand why. I mean, this one had all the elements, from pace to power and of course, precision. Exactly 4 years after Eric Dyer's beauty for England, the Three Lions were involved in a European Championship game where another outstanding free kick was scored. But this time, the Three Lions were on the receiving end of things. In the 30th minute, when the Danish team were given a set piece, it looked like it was too far out, but Mikkel Damsgaard calculated his bearings to perfection, and in a split second he scored an absolute banger. Although his team would eventually lose the game, that long-range hit by Damsgaard is undoubtedly one of the most memorable free kicks in the history of the Euros. And that's it today, folks. Don't forget to hit that like button, and why not subscribe to stay tuned for more thrilling content just like this.